here. Good evening. Did the meeting start? I don't have any sound on my end.
Okay, can you hear us now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we are, and yes, we are live. We are streaming. You guys can see us and the PowerPoint, right?
Just you. I can't see the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Do you just have a Human Rights Commission meeting? That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
Okay. All right, and so we have Diane, Jamela, and Lucas online. You guys can all hear us. You're all there?
Yep, I can do that.
All right, awesome. So I am going to call the meeting to order at 6:12. And let's do a quick round of introductions. I am Liza Andrews, the current chair of the Newington Human Rights Commission. We'll start with those folks in the room. Mark?
Mark France, about the second year on the committee.
Karen?
Karen Peterkin.
Carol, our
Carol LeBrecq.
staff liaison from the Human Services Department, and we'll go online. Whoever wants to.
Jamela Abrahams.
I'm Lucas Hool.
Diane, do you have your mic working yet?
I'm Diane Kataya.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. We have the minutes from the April meeting. Have folks had a chance to look at those?
Yes.
Yes.
Any questions, any edits? All right, can I get a motion to approve the April meeting minutes?
I motion to approve.
I second it.
Karen, second?
Second.
All right, Karen made the motion, Mark made the second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? You guys were all here. Okay. The minutes are approved. Next we have election of officers. So we need to elect a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary.
Who's taking the minutes at today's meeting? You are.
Which order are we doing them in?
Why don't you start, Diane?
Okay, so I am going to nominate Liza as our chairperson for this committee. Liza has proven to do a great job, and she's well deserving of this.
Thank you, Diane.
Second.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? All right, well, I accept the nomination. Thank you. So all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, I would like to nominate, Lucas Hool as our vice chair. He's new to the commission, but he's young, he's eager, and he's ready to get some work done. Can anyone second that nomination?
I
Second.
sec-
Okay, Mark seconded. Any other nominations? Lucas, do you accept the nomination?
I do. I humbly accept this nomination. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you, Lucas. All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
I
opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Next up, we have a nomination for secretary.
Yep, I'd like to put forward Diane Kutea's name for secretary. From what I hear, she would make an amazing secretary, and yes, I would like the board to consider her.
All right, I second that nomination. Any other nominations? All right, all those in favor, oh, Diane, do you accept the nomination as secretary?
do.
Any other nominations? All right, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so we have our officers selected. Thank you very much, everyone. All right, moving on to the October 17th event. So Carol, is the library
The
available?
library is available and they are on board to provide a bibliography of resources and,
Okay, awesome.
um,
All right, so then we're scheduled for Thursday, October 17th. So the whole event will run 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the library. I don't think the speaking portion has to run that long. I don't think it should run that long. You know, maybe if we're starting at 6 o'clock, maybe we go till 7, but then have I know we talked about having a few tables outside with resources. Maybe they could stay till 7:30 so folks have time to go out and get resources and ask questions to any of those folks. Does that sound like a plan?
that's good.
Okay.
I do have a question.
Yes.
So in making the calls to the mobile units, do we want them there a little earlier? Like, is it possible that they could come maybe in the afternoon, say from 2 to 7 or
Yeah.
2 to 6 or something like that?
I mean, I would think so. Carol
We'd
is
have to
the,
run it by the library, but
for the
Okay.
parking
yeah, and I
lot,
think
yeah.
we'd have to advertise it obviously to make
Yeah.
it
Right,
worth
right.
their being there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe not.
We're not
quick,
even
but-
that long, but
Yeah,
I,
but at least a little early,
yeah, cause I was
Yeah.
thinking 6 to 7:30, everyone will be inside for the event.
Yep.
And then if people come in, you know, we don't want them to kind of choose, like, do I
Yeah.
get an exam or do I go in?
And maybe we could advertise it as 5 to 6, you know, refreshments and resources.
Yep.
And then 6 to 7, the presenters, and then
Okay.
7 to 7:30 networking.
Okay.
I have a comment,
Yeah.
if I may. So I reached out to a relative of mine who is like an executive at Pro Health Physicians. And she is definitely willing to reach out to her team. But I would need a directive from the committee to see how I could move forward with this connection with Pro Health Physicians. If it's still needed, if the committee as the whole deems that she could reach out to the clinical team and have like a mobile unit come over here from Pro Health Physicians.
Does Pro Health have a mobile unit?
Well, that I'm aware of personally, no, but I did reach out to my relative.
Yep.
And she said she's more than willing to just wait for me to give her the word, contingent on the committee's collective decision as how we choose to, whether we choose to move forward with me contacting my Pro Health, my relative at Pro Health.
Okay. Yeah, why don't you find out from that person what resources, could Pro Health come and table? Are there any services or screenings they can provide in this kind of advanced portion from 5 to 6, or maybe even a little earlier, if they do have a mobile unit that could be parked in the parking lot? Why don't you ask and see? And I think it's gonna be helpful. We're meeting again in September. So I do think that it's gonna be important for the group to be emailing with each other through the next couple of months as we plan this event, as you guys get updates on contacts that you're making with speakers and resources.
Absolutely.
Please send emails to the whole group. You guys should, have the most recent email from Carol, has everyone's email in there. Everyone will receive this meeting notice, right?
Yes.
Okay, so everyone's email is on there, so please do email the group with any updates. That would be great.
And I think we probably need to distinguish between presenters. We want to limit that to
Correct,
probably
yeah.
3.
Right,
And tabling.
so,
My apologies.
Go ahead.
I also have a connection with intercommunity mental health and our behavioral and holistic health. They're
Okay.
Actually now, they started off as a mental health unit back in 1980, I believe. And now they are a whole health collective.
okay,
And I have a connection with them as well. And I know for a fact that they have a mobile unit,
okay. Okay, do you wanna reach out to them?
of course.
Okay, go right
Yeah,
ahead.
You're okay. Sure.
Yeah, that's fine, as one of the resources
Yeah.
for okay. So, for speaking, I don't know what people are thinking. I reached out to, Health Equity Solutions, because again, this is really the primary thing they do is advocate for health equity. So I reached out to them, I reached out to CHRO, and I reached out to the Office of the Healthcare Advocate for potential panel discussion members. I don't know, I haven't heard back from them yet, so I don't know if they're available. Hopefully we're well enough in advance that they'll be available. Do folks have other suggestions for possible panelists?
I thought that's what we had agreed on.
Yeah.
That last meeting. I reached out to Healthcare Advocate as well, haven't heard back either, so
Okay,
I didn't.
okay, yeah, they're. I
We
think
double
they'll be a
dipped there,
little
but
slow.
that's
Okay,
fine.
Okay, perfect.
Excuse me.
Well,
yeah.
Sorry, thank you.
Were folks reaching out to other, so Karen, you mentioned reaching out to some mobile units. Jamela, I think you were reaching out to some units.
Yes, yes, I have, and I'm also waiting to hear back. I reached out to Wheeler, Generation Family Health Center, Malta House Care Clinic, and Charter Oak Health Center.
Okay,
So they, I forwarded, they gave me additional people to call, like who's in charge, and I did that. So I'm just kind of waiting to hear back. And if I don't hear back from them by the end of let's say by Thursday or Friday, I'll call back again. Because this was the week I was able to connect.
okay.
Wonderful, thank you.
Do you know who it was you were talking to at Charter Oak?
No, but I left a message.
Okay,
I
because
spoke with someone in like the central person. And then I left a message because they connected me to whoever was in charge of, that section.
that's kind of the same thing that I did. I have left a message. I gave him my personal phone. Have
Me
not
too.
anything. Oh, we all went to Charter Oak?
Oh,
I think let's cover our bases, everyone. Let's do it.
That's funny. Well, I think at Charter Oak was like the most local place. You know, you have a community health center in Charter Oak. So those are the two that, our members use a lot. But I did check to see with compliance whether I can outreach to see if we could have like Husky put up a booth, like a table, not a booth, but a table. I have not heard back from compliance. I know that we had some system upgrades. So that's, what I was doing as far as Husky goes.
Okay. And did you also, Diane, reach out to Community Health Center?
I did not outreach to Community Health Center. Would you like me to?
I think so. I think that would be good.
Because they got New Britain and Hartford, so.
Right.
And so those are options for tabling.
Correct.
So I think we just want to make sure we're all on the same page. We
Yeah.
don't want 5 vans out there that
Right.
night, right?
Yeah.
No,
I
no,
mean,
this was just for tables. And, I actually have a suggestion for Mark with Pro Health. Pro Health, I do not believe, I'm almost 100% positive they do not have a mobile unit. But maybe get a few people out there to do like do a table with blood pressure screen-ins or blood sugar, or if they can do, cholesterol screen-ins, something like that. That would be wonderful. I think.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So when I reached back out to the places that I called, could I then, if they're not able to do a mobile health unit, probably see whether they can send us information that we can set up on the table, things, or that they could come and be at a table. So give them some
Yeah.
options.
I absolutely think tabling is also an option in addition to a mobile unit. Question: if we end up with a lot of potential tablers, Is there like that community room and the gym are those usable?
In the town hall,
Yes.
I'd have to check the availability of it.
Okay.
We can also use our waiting room. So right
Okay.
across from the library would be a possibility. I mean, I certainly can check the bigger space, but if it's not available, that could be a backup too.
Okay. Okay.
And again, I think my concern would only be, we want to make sure we're on track with the mobile units. We want to have one or two, but.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't we do this, once because my plan wasn't to lock them in, it was to have them hold it. And then
Okay.
that way, when we came to the meeting, if someone else had gotten, say, a dental unit, then I could just call back and say, okay, we don't need it. So maybe
Okay.
we'll do that. We can all sort of reconvene by email. Say, we'll set up a date, I don't know, maybe sometime in July.
Yeah.
And then that way, once we know how many mobile units we can have come out,
Yep.
then we can go ahead and lock them in.
Yeah.
So we don't overlap.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna follow up with Charter Oaks since three of us. So if they call me back, I'll just let them know that we're all calling for the same reason and they can follow up with one of you.
Perfect.
Yes, I didn't even leave a detailed message. I just left that I was, from the, from the Newington, equity and, just, would like to speak to someone regarding an upcoming event we have. And that was it. Didn't even give them a date. But I have not heard back and I called weeks ago.
Mm.
I'll have to look at my phone, but it was shortly after our meeting actually that I called them.
They seem to be pretty busy over there.
Yes, yeah. So, at this point, I've kind of given up on them, but I am still waiting to hear back from compliance, whether I can even ask for like our community health worker organizer for them, if they can have somebody out there just doing some things with Husky.
Okay. Perfect. Yes, Mark.
Yes, I also thought of reaching out to the Hartford Gay and Lesbian Collective on Broad Street, in Hartford.
Okay.
David Grant is an associate of mine,
Okay.
and he's very well known in the LGBTQIA+ community.
Yep.
So I think if I may, reach out to him as well, so we have a representation of every sort of aspect of healthcare too.
Okay. Sure. Perfect.
If
And that
we-
would be
So,
as a-
Yes, as a
Resource.
table. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think they have a
Yeah.
multiple.
I do think marketing always becomes the downfall.
Mhm.
Know that we want to wait for confirmation at the September meeting to start that. So maybe like you suggested via email,
Yeah.
if we can lock in by
Absolutely.
August to start that.
Yep.
Launch the market.
Yeah, and I think we can be general enough with, resources,
Exactly.
hopefully we can lock the speakers in sooner rather than later and say who's gonna be speaking. But then we can add the resources and if we can use the town social media as more resources come up, and I know the Democratic Town Committee will, do it in, Newington News, I know.
I
Help
could put
post as
something next
resources
door.
come up, yeah.
so,
Okay. Jamela?
I was thinking if we make this like a health and wellness, I wonder if there's any places in town where we can check into for them to have a booth or do a little thing like a Pilates or yoga. We can reach out to someone in the community to either have a booth or maybe do a quick little session.
Okay. Do you wanna look into a local? Any of those?
Okay.
I don't know of any local, I'm not into yoga myself, so I'm not sure of any local,
Well,
You know,
Pilates, I know there's a Pilates that ages ago, I used to participate, go to how they send them through the town, like you can do these 6-week sessions.
yeah.
Um, she's probably still there,
Yeah.
and there's perhaps other places in town. I don't know if anyone goes to
Yeah.
do any of those kinds of things.
Yeah, maybe if you want to find someone and see if they want to do something, maybe from 7 to 7:30, and that can kind of be maybe something that's available, similar to how the tables are available, because it might not be everybody's jam, right? But if someone comes and they want to do maybe a quick half-hour yoga session or go check out the tables, I think
Mhm.
that would be a good idea.
Okay.
And I can be in charge of refreshments and we'll keep it healthy.
You make healthy cookies?
That kind of defeats the purpose of cookies, but no, it could do like celery with celery or little peppers with a savory stuffing, yogurt base.
Like, okay. I liked the cookies from the last one better.
I mean, you can certainly do that, and we do have a budget, so you can certainly, we could do reimbursement for any vegetables, that you're buying. I also think it's okay to make some cookies. We don't have to
Okay.
have all cookies, maybe like one tray of cookies to go with your tray of veggies.
Okay.
And then I'll get some water.
Should we provide small sandwiches or anything since it's like dinner time?
I'm hoping that people will eat dinner on their own. We don't have a huge budget. We only have $750.
Yeah,
for the
yeah, that's
kids,
not a
so-
big budget for that.
I mean, unless like
So-
Jersey Mike's or someplace donated.
They
but-
might, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, would you want to try to
Yeah, I
See
can
if
look into
they-
that, yeah.
donate?
Donations are always great.
Yep. And I think, for an event a couple years ago, one of our members did have luck. I can't remember. It might have been a tray of cookies, which were good with Diane. Diane bakes some very good cookies. But did have some luck with one of the local Stop and Shops. I don't know which one.
Mhm.
But they donated a tray of something, so maybe they
Oh,
donate
good. Okay,
little,
I'll definitely look into that too.
sandwiches. I think Karen's willing to do that, so don't worry
Okay.
about that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Karen. Okay.
All right, so I know I'm gonna make a flyer. Lucas, were you gonna develop a fun title for me?
100%. 100%.
Alright, so
I'm listening a little bit more to the conversation today. I'm recovering from awful stomach bugs. So I
Uh-oh.
Sorry to hear that, feel
Sorry,
better.
Lucas.
thank you. I'm trying.
Mm.
All right, so Lucas will come up with a fun title. I'll start working on a flyer. I'll stay on top of the potential speakers for the panel, Health Equity Solutions, CHRO, and the Healthcare Advocate. And folks who have all mentioned they're reaching out to potential mobile services or to tabling events. So again, if we can all just email each other as stuff are coming in, I'll try to keep a running list of where we're at, and then hopefully by mid-July, if folks have really, heard from who we think we're going to hear from, we can start making some decisions of who we want to have. Do we have the appropriate space? And I think it's fine if we have some tables in the library and some tables in and people can just go across the street. I think that's totally fine. So, all right. So, do folks think we're missing anything?
It just seems to me like we're really super preparing ourselves for a really nice event.
Yeah.
But let's prepare for rain, a cloudy, a cloud in the sky with a nice little lightning thing singing at us. So in light of saying that, would the committee be willing to I don't know, this sounds monumental to me. Is September where we meet next?
Yes.
Okay, the third Wednesday, is Tuesday in September, is that correct? Or third Tuesday in September, or second Tuesday?
I think
I'll
it's
tell
the
you.
third. Yeah, it's September 17th.
Yes.
So we're gonna be dialoguing via email in the interim.
In between.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cause I was gonna suggest, I know everyone wants to take a break for summer, we all need it.
Uh-huh.
But what if we need a Zoom event? Just in case, cause that just in case, no one never knows that things fall through the cracks and then we plan for this monumental thing and then suddenly like people show up and no one's there and I don't know, it's
Yeah.
just, I'm just throwing my 2 cents worth for what it's worth.
I mean, what does the group want? Do you guys want to schedule another meeting between now and September? Or do you think we can communicate with each other over email?
Well, why don't we do it over email, and if we find we need another one before September, then,
To a Zoom.
speak
yeah.
up and say, hey, maybe we need to meet before that.
Okay.
And do a
Jamala,
Zoom.
Lucas, any thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that. I would say just if we find that we need to, I would be open to meeting, one more time between them because like it is like two or so months out. So I'd be happy to meet again in between, but up to you all.
I think if we all commit to email and then you can make the call if you feel like we don't have enough, then you call a
Okay.
mid-July meeting.
All right, that sounds
Right,
like a
and then
plan.
probably sooner in September rather than later if needed.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
We can certainly bump that up if we need to. Okay, for the panel discussion, are there any questions in particular that any of you have that you would want the potential panelists to address? I'm
I-
sure they'll have presentations they tend to make on this topic. But I know sometimes they ask for questions. What kind of questions does the group have? So any thoughts?
I'd like to think about it.
Okay.
Maybe can we
Mhm.
maybe submit
Can
our
add that
questions
to the
by
email.
email?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'll think about it.
I know one thing that comes to mind, for example, especially with our younger population, is how to have safer sex or sex education as part of health awareness. Having someone talking about alternatives to, like maybe Planned Parenthood, I don't know, but having someone to educate the younger people on how to choose and to practice safer relations, and what comes along with that too.
Okay. All right. Folks online wanna think about it or anything on top of your mind now?
Office of Healthcare Advocate, the insurance issues and
Mhm.
inequities and how to
Mhm.
appeal, all of that.
And one thing is getting homeless people to health appointments, transportation issues, the logistical issues, not just finding them providers, but the logistical for homeless people. Because that's been an issue that I've run into.
Well, folks can certainly think about it more and then, send me anything via email. And then of course, as I hear from the potential panelists, I'll let you all know, what they're suggesting, they would talk about, so.
That would be good.
Okay,
Or
so,
even if we knew, who they were or what their area
Yeah.
of specialty.
Exact.
okay, perfect. All right, anything else on the October 17th event?
Just as far as the speakers, is it going to be a panel discussion or is it going to be speakers only type thing?
So I do definitely want it to be a discussion with, I want them to do, depending on how many people are on the panel, if it's potentially 3, I would ask them to probably do 10 to 12 minutes. If they have a presentation on the topic of health equity, And then leave the remaining half hour, 20 minutes, for questions and answers and a discussion with the audience. Would be my goal.
Okay, very
That
good.
work?
Mhm.
Okay. So next item on the agenda is use of the remaining FY 24 funds and then plans for FY 25. So FY 24 is spent. We ordered some lanyards because Carol had to place the order by last Friday. So she called and that was just my really quick suggestion. So what do we have? Lanyards.
So we have, I think it's 250 lanyards, royal blue. It's got the Human Services logo and then Newington Human Rights logo, Newington Human
Commission.
Rights. I didn't put commission, I just put Newington Human
Oh,
Rights.
okay, that's fine.
And then it's got the, it detaches, so you could use it for your keys, but around your neck.
Okay,
So-
perfect. So.
We had 450 left, it came to 473, Human Services absorbed the shipping on it, so we're good to go, we should be getting them in.
Thank you very much.
And then we'll give those away at different
We
events that
can-
we have.
Other handout things we could use for this?
So
We do, I have a box at my office, I can bring it at the next meeting.
Okay.
I don't know what.
It's in there. I don't know what's in there. Yeah, I don't know. We haven't ordered any items in the time that I've been on the commission. I
I
know.
think we have bookmarks maybe
Yeah,
that
those-
say something
Okay,
appropriate.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't remember the details.
All right, so we know for FY 25, we have $750. So we could order another tchotchke type item, if we wanted to. I think, I don't know, Diane, if we want to reserve $100 to reimburse you for, vegetables and whatever you need for, preparing trays for the October event. What do folks think? Do you want to order some other type of awareness item that would say, just Newington Human Rights Commission or Newington Human Rights?
Stress relievers, a little squeegee, I don't know how expensive those are.
Stress balls?
Yeah, stress balls. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what's useful,
Mhm.
because I often get those things and just put them in the same place in
Agreed.
my house.
Great, I thought the lanyard was a really good idea.
Yeah, the lanyard,
I-
yeah.
I thought of it in the past.
I will say that one of the things that goes just shocking, and I work in the domestic violence field, so maybe that has part to do with it, but webcam covers,
Yeah.
shocking.
Yeah.
How many people want a webcam cover?
As a matter of fact. this one I
What is
think-
that?
You put it
This is
over on your laptop over your camera, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Actually
so
ordered
that
this
way
one from
you know
Amazon,
you
but
can
yeah,
close it
You can get them with the logo.
so that you know, because
Okay.
sometimes, it's out there,
You should
people
cover
can
your
hack,
camera.
people can
Oh,
hack devices and they're watching you through your camera and you don't even realize they're watching you through your camera. So you
mm.
put like it's a physical cover that when
Mhm.
you need to use your camera, you can flip it up.
I don't know if you all can see this,
Yeah.
but you can't really see it, but I just got this one. I got a packet from Amazon, but it's a little, it has an adhesive, you stick it over your camera. And then whenever I'm on a Zoom or whatever type of, video meeting, I just open it up. Mark Zuckerberg uses a camera cover, so that alone.
Well,
should
Mark
tell
Zuckerberg.
you- Right, exactly. And MacBooks now record, well, not necessarily the MacBook, but I had to call Apple yesterday because my microphone kept lighting up and I said, I'm not in a meeting, and I just happened to Google it and people were saying, when it lights up, it means it's in use. So I called Apple and I said, who's listening in?
Yeah,
I was just sitting there talking to my husband and I'm like, it's been on for 10 minutes.
yeah,
So there are certain websites that can record you.
yeah.
Zoom is one, so he took me through this whole thing and we checked, which
Yeah.
websites and, so we turned it off. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think those
the
camera
only-
covers would be great.
Yeah, and the only challenge with the camera covers, of course, they're small.
Right.
So, even the ones I have at work are bigger than that. They're
Yeah.
meant for a laptop and not an iPad. you know, so, but the print on them is fairly small, cause it's a small item,
Well, I
so.
got one at a film festival once and it was about that long and it had just, I think it was NBC Universal or somebody, they gave them out. But it came in like a little plastic pouch and the logo was, you could see NBC Universal on it. And it was bigger than this one, maybe about that long, which I guess is about an inch or so. And then you want them thin so that when you close your device, it doesn't keep them open, but yeah, they're good.
I don't know, what do you folks think? Do they have other ideas?
Not at the moment. I know it would be nice to have something substantial to give to people who come that is not going to be tossed to the side. I'd have to give that to the side to give some thought to that, because you know you tend to go to these places, you get these things, and then it's just tossed to the side. So we wouldn't want to waste our money.
Yep.
To try to come up with something that's
To pay
useful.
For a speaker for a spring event.
Yep, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly save, we don't have to order tchotchkes by any stretch of the means.
We could pay
So we
for
can
a
certainly
speaker.
save it and do another event in the spring, so. Alright, so we'll table FY25 and we'll put it back on the agenda in September. Alright, member reports.
Oh, wait, one thing, I wondered too if we can use some of it to get things to make the event look festive, even if you use some of it for balloons or I know some decorative items.
Sure,
Sure.
yep, we can do that for sure.
Just a word out, if we can plan to either order stuff. Our finance department really looks down on us paying for something and then having to reimburse folks. So like you guys paying for your own stuff and then me having to get the reimbursement. So if we can order it through the system, that would be the preference for finance.
Okay. So with that, so then is the Human Services Department placing the order with whatever vendors you use?
No, you can tell me where you know, you can forward your order.
Yeah.
And we can just finance it.
Okay. Jamila, do you wanna look into, you know, maybe like $50 to $100 worth of, I don't know if you want just balloons or how you wanna do it?
All right, I'll put that down and take a look. And once I guess we know how many tables or what exactly we're gonna do,
Yep,
then we can think about what the decorative items would be.
okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, member reports.
Human Services, we're wrapping up for the year. We had a spring of difficulties with folks have not been subjected to a moratorium or not having a moratorium for 4 years now with COVID. So as of May 1st, we had people who never had been shut off, never gotten a shut off notice on their electricity for that many years. And so that was kind of a re-education process. So that's been difficult. We've gotten people through all of that, made arrangements and so forth. We're moving into the summer with our summer youth adventure programs for youth. We have a new Facebook page, which is Wellness Info Newington. So we are going to win. Yes. So we are going to try to put this kind of information from human rights and other our mental health or substance use programs on that website or on that Facebook page.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
No, a thought came to my mind, back to the event. Can you raffle items? Could you use the money to buy something that would be raffle free?
Raffles there's rules about raffles, so I don't know, we'd have to see what you had in mind and check it against the raffles, but they've gotten pretty rigid about raffles, even like, you know, the tabletop auctions we all used to do, even those are have roles around them, so. If you have an idea, I can present it to see if it's something that would be covered, but I know they've gotten very, strict about anything.
Well, I was thinking in terms of like to get people to come, like once you make the flyer, you could put on the flyer that you'll have
Door.
free raffle. It could be sort of like the blood pressure monitor, like health items that could be raffled off.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could
Yeah.
do door prizes, so if
Yeah.
we get prizes and people
Mhm.
just stay to the end, we hand up, like, we're not selling tickets to.
No, you're not selling tickets, so if
We
they
can do
come,
that,
enter.
a
they
raffle
put
where
their
we're
name
selling.
in.
Yeah.
Right, so it's free, everything is free, we're just purchasing it with some of the money that we have. So maybe like 3 items, one to get people to come, because they see these on the flyer, so free raffle. Like I said, the blood pressure monitor, or we can think of some other things that's helpful. Health related, a yoga mat, something like that, and then they can get.
Yeah, I like that concept, I think we just need to call it a door prize instead.
Oh, okay.
Digital thermometers.
Yeah.
Things you always need in your house.
Okay,
I have a question.
so are we suggesting that we try to get those items donated or that we spend some of the FY25 funds, on those items?
Yeah, spend some of the FY25 funds. If that's something you all are interested in. I was just thinking, one, a meaningful way to spend some of the money, and 2, a way to probably get more people to come, to the event.
Okay,
Mhm.
Mark, you said you had a question?
Yes, when is the deadline for Lucas, not to put pressure on you, Lucas, but when are we as a committee gonna be able to look at Lucas' work for the flyer and vote on it? In September, is that when we're gonna look at the flyer?
No,
No,
we're gonna
it has to
have
be
that.
way before
Lucas, so
that.
I was just asking Lucas to develop a clever title for the event. I'm gonna
Right.
make the flyer. Yeah, so,
Oh,
yeah,
cool,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But it's nothing that we as a committee are gonna vote on, like.
I don't think it's necessary to vote on it. I'm happy to share it with the
Oh,
group
yeah, no,
for
but-
suggestions.
Yeah, I trust your.
yeah.
Easy peasy, I mean, not easy peasy, but I know it's gonna be really awesome. I just was wondering, out of fairness to everyone else, I thought it was a legitimate question to ask.
Sure. Okay, all right, we'll look into some door prizes. I'll price some of those items. Okay, other business. Anyone else have anything else? All right, we have no members of the public on, right?
Nope.
All right. I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Second,
You wanna make the motion?
a motion to close our meeting.
And do we have a
second.
second? Second from Jamela. All right, we are adjourned at 6:54. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good
So-
night.
all.
Be safe.